Welcome back to Heartbeat, Human Connections. Are you ready for this? Tonight we're taking a deep dive into 10 acts of kindness from all over the world.
It's amazing how these stories really show how connected we all are. Even though they come from all these different places, they highlight something we all share.
It's like kindness is a language everyone understands.
Exactly.
Sometimes the simplest things can have the biggest impact.
Absolutely.
Like imagine a crowded subway station in Tokyo.
Okay.
An elderly man is struggling, with heavy bags.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly, a group of teenagers just rush over to help. They help him carry his bags all the way to his platform. No hesitation, no questions asked, just pure kindness.
That's so true. It reminds me of how much respect Japanese culture has for their elders. It's
Yeah.
like these teenagers, they just naturally feel responsible for taking care of their community. It's really inspiring.
It really is. It shows you how even a small gesture can make someone's day.
Yeah.
Now let's hop over to Berlin. There's this cafe there, and they've taken the pay it forward idea to a whole new level. They have a board where customers can buy a coffee for someone in need. And each cup comes with a note that says, "Enjoy this coffee on someone else's kindness."
Oh, that's so sweet.
It is.
The pay it forward tradition has been around forever, it seems like.
Right.
But it's always amazing to see how it brings people together, no matter where they are in the world.
It's like a chain reaction of generosity, spreading warmth one cup at a time. Speaking of generosity, our next story takes us to Mumbai. There's an artist there who's using their talent to bring joy to street children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this artist is creating these beautiful portraits for these kids, and for many of them, it's the first time they've ever had a piece of art that's just for them.
It's incredible how art can empower people like that. I mean, imagine a child who's maybe never really seen themselves represented in art before.
Right.
To suddenly have this portrait that captures who they are, it must be amazing for their self-esteem.
Art has this way of connecting with people on such a deep level.
Yeah.
And sometimes that connection can change someone's life. All right, let's go to Johannesburg for our next story. We have a teacher there who's turned her classroom into a kindness classroom.
A kindness classroom.
Yeah.
What does that even look like?
Well, it's all about making kindness a part of everyday learning. She integrates it into all her lessons and activities.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like she's planting the seeds of empathy and compassion in these young minds. I wonder what kind of long-term impact that has on her students.
That's a great point. It's like she's setting them up for a future where kindness is just the normal way to be.
Exactly.
Okay, story number 6 is all about furry friends spreading joy. In New York City, a dog owner put a free petting sign on his dog.
Wait, really?
Yeah, apparently his dog is super friendly, and he wanted to offer people a moment of connection.
That is so cool. It's interesting how pets can help people connect, especially in big cities where it's easy to feel isolated. Just a quick pat on a dog's head can turn someone's whole day around.
It's true. There's something about animals that just makes everything better.
They just bring people together.
They do. Okay, we've made it to our top 5. Before we get into those, though, don't forget to share your own kindness stories with us.
That's right.
You can leave a comment below or tag at AI for the People. We love hearing about the amazing things people are doing to make the world a better place.
We really do. And, your story might inspire someone else to pay it forward.
So let's dive back into our countdown. Story number 5 takes us to Brazil, where a community was hit hard by a storm.
Oh, no.
But instead of letting it break their spirit, they came together to rebuild their community center.
It's amazing how resilient people can be.
It is.
They didn't just clean up the mess, they rebuilt this important part of their community brick by brick.
They did. One of the volunteers said, "We're stronger together." And that really captures the spirit of this story. It shows how much we can overcome when we support each other.
That's so powerful. Going through tough times together can really create strong bonds between people.
Absolutely. Okay, for story number 4, we're going to London. An anonymous donor gave a huge supply of winter coats to a homeless shelter.
Wow. Just imagine the difference that made for those people during the cold months.
It's more than just physical warmth, too.
Yeah.
It's about dignity and hope.
Definitely. And the fact that they did it anonymously, it's just pure kindness.
Right. They didn't want any recognition. They just wanted to help.
It's like a quiet act of love. It shows that kindness can come from anywhere.
Our next stop is San Francisco. At number 3, we have a tech startup that's using innovation to address a really important issue: loneliness, especially among the elderly. They've developed an app that connects volunteers with seniors who are looking for companionship.
That's incredible. I'm so passionate about this topic. We tend to think of technology as something that isolates people, but this shows how it can actually bring people together.
I know, right? It's a great example of how technology can be used for good. This app is helping to bridge the gap between generations and address a real societal need. And now for number 2, we're heading to Sydney. A young girl there decided to use her birthday money to buy school supplies for children living in a nearby refugee camp.
Oh, that's so heartwarming.
It is.
It just proves that you don't have to wait till you're older to make a difference.
Right. Kindness has no age limit.
And it sets such a great example for other kids. I can only imagine how many other kids she inspired to do something kind.
And finally, for our number 1 act of kindness, we're traveling to a small town in Italy. During a local festival, the residents decided to do something really special. They organized a free meal service for the elderly to make sure that everyone felt included in the celebrations.
That is so beautiful. It shows how important community and inclusivity are.
It really does. They went out of their way to make sure that no one felt left out, especially their elderly residents.
And think about the impact that had on the elderly folks. It must have made them feel so appreciated and connected to their community.
Totally. And one of the chefs there said something that I thought was really beautiful. He said, "Our traditions are richer when shared."
Ah, that's so true.
It really is.
These top 5 stories have been so heartwarming. It's like a global wave of compassion, isn't it?
It is. And speaking of waves of compassion, there's this movement that's gaining traction online called the hashtag Make Kindness the Norm campaign.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Have you? It encourages people to do acts of kindness every day and then share them on social media using that hashtag. It's a great way to amplify these positive actions and inspire others to join the movement.
Social media can be such a powerful tool for spreading kindness and positivity.
It really can. And you know what? We actually heard from one of our viewers who was inspired to take action after watching one of our episodes.
Really? What did they do?
This viewer, who goes by Kindness Warrior Online, was so touched by our episode about a community garden project that they decided to organize a book drive in their neighborhood.
That's amazing.
They collected over 200 books for local schools.
Wow. That's incredible.
It's amazing to see how these stories can motivate people to create positive change in their own communities.
It really shows how powerful individual actions can be. Each story, each act of kindness can inspire so many others. It's a beautiful cycle of generosity and compassion.
We are so grateful to be a part of it. We'll be right back with more heartwarming stories after a quick break.
Welcome back to Heartbeat, Human Connections. It's amazing to see how our viewers are connecting with these stories. It's proof that kindness is contagious.
I love that. It's like by sharing these stories, we're creating this ripple effect of positivity. And guess what? We have even more amazing stories to share.
I can't wait. And don't forget, if you're feeling inspired, share your own story in the comments or tag us at AI for the People and use hashtag Make Kindness the Norm. Let's keep this movement going.
Yes. Let's dive back into our countdown. Remember that community in Brazil that rebuilt their community center after that awful storm?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Well, their story actually goes even deeper than that.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
They didn't just rebuild the building, they created a space for healing.
Wow.
Yeah, they started offering these free workshops, support groups, even movie nights, all to help people cope with the trauma of the storm.
Yeah.
It's like they rebuilt their community center, but they also rebuilt their community.
It's incredible. They turned a place of loss into a place of hope. And it's a great example of how people can come together and support each other through really tough times.
It's like sometimes the hardest challenges bring out the best in us. And that brings us to our next story. Remember that anonymous donor in London who donated all those winter coats to the homeless shelter?
How could I forget? It was such a heartwarming story.
Well, there's more to it. That one act of generosity actually inspired others in the community to do the same.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people started donating clothes, food, even their time, all because they were inspired by that anonymous donor. It's like that first act of kindness planted a seed, and it grew into this whole garden of compassion.
It shows you how powerful one person's actions can be. Like, they might not even realize the ripple effect they're creating.
It's like we all have the potential to be that spark. All right, let's head back to San Francisco. Remember that tech startup that created an app to help combat loneliness among the elderly?
Yes, it was such a creative solution to a really challenging issue.
Well, there's more to their story, too. The app isn't just connecting people for visits. It's helping seniors get involved in meaningful activities and build real relationships. Volunteers are helping them with all sorts of things, like grocery shopping and even learning how to use technology.
That's incredible. It's like it's giving seniors the tools and the support they need to stay active and engaged in their communities.
Exactly. And it shows how technology, when used the right way, can be a powerful tool for good. Okay, our next story takes us back to Sydney, Australia. Remember that young girl who used her birthday money to buy school supplies for refugee children?
Oh, she was so inspiring.
It turns out her act of kindness had a ripple effect too.
Oh, I love it. What happened?
Well, other kids at her school and in her community saw what she did and decided to do the same. They started organizing fundraisers and collecting donations, even volunteering their time to help refugee families. It's like her kindness inspired a whole movement of young people.
That's amazing. It just goes to show that age is no barrier to making a difference in the world.
You got it. Okay, for our last story in this segment, let's go back to that small town in Italy. Remember the town that hosted that special meal service for their elderly residents during their local festival?
Yeah, it was such a beautiful example of community spirit.
It was. It wasn't just about the food. It was about making sure that everyone felt included in the celebration. It strengthened the bonds between generations and created a sense of belonging.
And think about how much joy it brought to the elderly residents. They got to experience the festival alongside their friends and neighbors.
It's a good reminder that we all need to feel like we belong. Okay, we've shared so many incredible stories tonight.
It's been truly inspiring. Every story is a testament to the power of human kindness and the beauty of connection.
And now we want to hear from you. What act of kindness has touched your life? Share your story in the comments or tag us at AI for the People using hashtag #MakeKindnessTheNorm. Welcome back to Heartbeat, Human Connections. It's been incredible exploring these acts of kindness from all over the world.
It really has. It makes you realize that even small acts of generosity can make a huge difference.
And remember that hashtag #MakeKindnessTheNorm campaign we talked about. It's really taken off.
Yeah, people are sharing their stories, inspiring others. It's amazing. Social media, for all its faults, can really be a force for good.
I know, right? It shows how connected we all are. And that's what Heartbeat, Human Connections is all about.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
And these stories we shared tonight, they're proof that kindness can change the world.
Absolutely. They show that generosity has no limits, compassion can reach across any border, and the human spirit, it's capable of amazing things.
So as we wrap up tonight, we want to leave you with a question. What act of kindness will you share with the world?
Will you help someone in need? Offer a kind word, or just smile at a stranger?
It doesn't matter how big or small the action is, it can make a difference.
So let's keep this wave of kindness going. Share your stories, inspire others. Let's make kindness the norm.
Thank you for joining us on Heartbeat, Human Connections. Remember, the world is a better place when we choose kindness.
And that's a choice we can make every single day.
Until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and let's make the world a brighter place, one act of kindness at a time.